Hello there. Let's talk about Benedict's syndrome, which is also called paramedian midbrain syndrome. So by the end of this video, must be able to tell what Benedict's syndrome is and structures which are involved and causes and clinical features of Benedict's syndrome. Okay, so let's start by defining what Benedict's syndrome is. So Benedict's syndrome is a neurological condition caused by a lesion in the tegmentum of the midbrain. A lesion in the tegmentum of the midbrain. Okay, so this diagram here is a cross-section of the midbrain at the level of superior colliculus. So what are the structures which are involved in the lesion? So structures which are involved in the lesion: one, we have the oculomotor nerve and its parasympathetic fiber, which is called the Edgar-Westphal nucleus or Westphal fibers, which are these two fibers which are there. That is the oculomotor nerve, and in green we have the Edgar-Westphal fibers. Then from there we have the red nucleus, the corticospinal tract, and the substantia nigra. So we have the corticospinal tract, and then we have the substantia nigra, that is the red nucleus there. So the structures which are involved are these structures which are here: the red nucleus, substantia nigra, and the corticospinal tract. Those are the structures which are involved. What are the causes of Benedict's syndrome? So Benedict's syndrome can be caused by infarction, which is blockage of certain blood vessels. Then we have hemorrhage and tumor. So, but the main cause is infarction in the basilar artery, or the branch of basilar artery which is supplying the midbrain. So this is the midbrain here. We have the pons and we have the medulla oblongata there. So the blockage or infarction of posterior cerebral artery, which is supplying the midbrain, can cause Benedict's syndrome. What are the clinical features? So the clinical features, we are going to have third nerve palsy, which is represented by the upper eyelid drop. We have eye looking downward and outward, and papillary dilation. So third nerve palsy is the one which is causing all these stuffs here. So let's see how these things happen. So we have our eyeball here. Let's say we have the extraocular muscles which are innervated by the oculomotor nerve. So we have the superior rectus muscle. Then this side we are going to have the medial rectus, and then we also have the lateral rectus this side. Then we have the inferior rectus muscle this side. So the oculomotor nerve innervates superior rectus muscle, medial rectus muscle, and we have the inferior rectus muscle. This one is innervated by the abducent nerve. Okay, so a lesion in oculomotor nerve, we are going to find that these muscles won't be working, these ones. So our eye is going to be projected downward and outward. Why? Because this one is working. So we are going to have our eye being put this side, okay, which is downward and outward. So we're going to have our eye moving outward and downward. Then from there, the upper eyelid drop. So the upper eyelid is innervated by the Edgar-Westphal nucleus, or the Edgar-Westphal fibers. So those fibers move from there. They are going to innervate the papillary muscles. And then from there, they are also going to innervate the muscle of the upper eyelid. That's why we have upper eyelid drop. Here we have the upper eyelid drop. Then we also have papillary dilation. Why? Because the indigo-wastful fibers are also involved. Then from there, I have contralateral hemiplegia. So contralateral hemiplegia is caused by, this comes about because we have the corticospinal tract which is involved. The cortical spinal tract is also involved. This part here is also involved. So the corticospinal tract, what it does, it sends motor nerves or motor neurons to the spinal cord. Okay, so let's say we have the brain here, the hemisphere of the brain. Then from here we have the midbrain and the pons. Then we have the spinal cord this side. So fibers from the brain, they pass through the midbrain and they are going to decussate in the medulla oblongata. This is the medulla oblongata, and then we have the pons and the midbrain this side. And then the fibers from this is the right, this is the left. So we are going to have decussation in the midbrain here, and fibers are going to go in the spinal cord. Then from there we are going to have a synapse with the neurons which are coming from the muscles this side. Okay, so hemiplegia is simply severe or complete strength loss, loss of strength. So why? Because we have the corticospinal is we have a lesion in the corticospinal there. So it is contralateral. Why? Because the lesion in the left, you see there is a decussation there, here. Then what will be affected is the right. One to have strength loss in the left side. Okay, that's why it is contralateral, because the left affects the right. And then from there we also have contralateral ataxia. So this is loss of coordination in movement. Loss of coordination in movement. Why? Because we have information coming from the cerebellum. It's just behind here, the pons. Information from the pons are saying the information from the cerebellum is sent. This information involves coordination of movement. It's sent to the red nucleus in the midbrain there. That information is sent to the thalamus, which sends it to the brain. Then the brain, via the corticospinal tract, is going to send that information involving coordination of muscles and muscle tone to the muscles. Now, if the red nucleus is there is a lesion in the red nucleus, meaning the information from the cerebellum involving coordination of muscles and muscle tone is not going to be sent to the brain. What happens? We are now going to have ataxia. Okay, so these are some of the clinical features of Benedict's syndrome. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comment in the comment section below.